It's not every day that you see cowboys tilling the land of Israel. But these passionate men and women are here with a purpose much bigger than themselves.
Up until October 7th, the job was just straightforward. We were helping the farms. And then when October 7th had the atrocities happen, our job just went to a new level because the foreign workers were leaving. The men and women that were called up into reserve duty had to leave, which pulled the farms basically empty. So yeah, today is taking the old tomatoes out and tying up these so they can come in and get the new crops in.
Joshua Waller and his big family are Christian farmers from Tennessee who moved to Israel 14 years ago with a big mission called Hayovel, or in English, serveisrael.com.
Yeah, oh, it's looking good.
It's not going all the way through.
There you go. Oh, it's good. It can all stay up there anyway.
I wasn't born with a green thumb. I'm sorry, Joshua.
No, it looks good. We'll just
My thumb is brown.
Wrap it up now. I can remember back on the farm in Tennessee, there was a Israeli flag with a menorah right in our living room on top of our piano. We were raised with the understanding, Christian Zionist understanding, that if Israel ever needed help, we would be the first to be here. We'll harvest up to 400 tons of grapes in a year, hand-picked. We'll plant, just this year, before the war, we planted 20,000 vines and trees together.
After October 7th, Joshua and his family brought dozens of volunteers from all over the United States to help keep the agriculture alive and flourishing during the war.
But these are perfectly edible. You can just take them off and eat them for lunch right now, or eat them for a snack. But yeah, the color is amazing.
And Josiah Hilton of Virginia Beach is already a veteran of 4 years.
The story here, and it's a huge part of the nation of Israel, is, and I think that's something we kind of lose around the world, is the agriculture and getting back to farming and growing your own food and that kind of stuff. And it's how the world goes around, because you can't live without the farmers. So here, especially in Israel, even though there's a big war and there are so many people fighting for their lives in Gaza, and you still have to keep the farms going. And there's not a famine during wartime. So we're privileged and we're blessed to be here to be able to help the farmers and do what we can. I can't go into Gaza and fight, so I'm gonna help here on the farms.
These men and women are proud to call themselves Christian Zionists because they are a faith-based community who live by the Word of God.
Right now, there's a movement around the world of people who are saying, Zionists are evil and Zionists are the colonizers, and there's all this. Really, it's just nonsense. But Zionism is based on a biblical concept. Zionism is based on the fact that the Jewish people belong in the land of Israel. And so we created this shirt. It's #Proud Zionist. We're not afraid to be called Zionist. I'm not ashamed of the term Zionist. Somebody calls me a Zionist, that makes me proud. God doesn't change his mind when he makes a promise. That's just it. It's solid. It stands that way forever. And so when he chose the Jewish people, that was it. And we don't argue with God. We say, okay, that's great. You made a choice, and we're going to back that up. We're not arguing with God. And to be here to be a part of it has been a huge honor.
Who was Ittai? 2 Samuel chapter 15 tells a remarkable story. Ittai was a man from Gath who brought his 600-man army to Jerusalem to join King David.
Joshua and his family also host a popular podcast called The Israel Guys. And since October 7th, they've managed to raise millions for Operation Ittai to help first responders keep safe.
And then the second part is actually bringing those supplies in. So we've airlifted, the first $1 million of equipment has arrived, and slowly we're bringing the rest of it in. We've got about $2.5 million now.
Joshua cites a famous quote by author Mark Twain when I asked him what their message is to the millions of people around the world spewing anti-Semitic and anti-Israel vitriol. Mark Twain said, tell us.
Let the lies travel around the world 10 times while the truth is still getting its boots on. That's the truth. And TikTok.
Haven't laced the boots yet.
Right, yeah, it's just trying to get the boots on, right? So unfortunately, that's the news. And TikTok and Instagram and all these entities, with Twitter and all this stuff, X, all these things are horrible. They accentuate the fact that lies travel so quickly. And that is an issue with this next generation. They're seeing the bad before they get any chance to even understand the good.
In the Gaza envelope, Emily Francis, I-24 News.